Good morning, everybody. It's the Wild Witch. And this is my newly designed mug. This is a 15-ounce mug. And of course, you can't get any more wild than the gypsy, can you? Everyone, I think there's a little gypsy in all of us, isn't there? So, yes, our curse is real. You bet they're real. I would like to talk to you about my family curse and how interesting that was and how it involved the whole family and how people had to cross over to help and assist and how crazy this world can be. There's so much spiritual warfare going on right now. And the synchronicities right now are off the charts. And as far as synchronistic healing, synchronistic bringing in the light, synchronistic taking out the dark, and there's so much of that going on, right? We're taking the dark out right and left. And if you saw the other video about my daughter dealing with cancer, and how we worked with her and helped her get a green light or a clear, all clear. Yes, she still has to go every 3 months to check up to see, because one of these cancers that could come back. But I don't think it's going to. We've really figured out what the hell was going on. And so it has to deal with a curse. And let me tell you, it's hard to battle a curse when you don't know someone put a curse on you. It's a whole different story if you know, I curse you, I curse you. Like that old Stephen King's movie, Thinner, where the gypsy woman, I curse you, thinner, thinner. Because when someone stands in front of you and says, I curse you, it works on you on a molecular level. It starts working, with the energies, the energies of your mind. Even subconsciously, you start going, oh my gosh, is that real? Can this person really curse me? And so subconsciously, you start bringing it you start manifesting this curse. It's kind of like going to church and the devil's going to get you. And your dreams, all your dreams at night are about the devil getting you, the demons, taking you away. And so I want to talk to you about when someone does not know, when a family doesn't realize that they're cursed, and how that plays out. My second husband he lives in a very large Italian family, and his mother was brought up in a Catholic orphanage. And so some of you are already going, oh, I know where this is going. Okay. So I divorced my first husband, and I knew my second husband. We all, the towns were too close, and we all knew each other. And his mother found out that I was dating her son and decided to come one day and one night this was when I was in my 20s. And I was working, I was cocktail waitressing, and I knew it was her because I had seen my husband's sister way in the corner. It was really busy, and there the mother sat, and she decided from that moment on she hated me. She didn't even have to speak to me. She just watched me, and she decided she hated me. And this woman is the type of woman that her name was Pat Guru. And this is the type of woman that I've heard her say it. If you're standing in line and somebody looks at her, she goes, I'm Pat Guru, who the fuck are you? That's the type of person she is. I've seen her babysit very young children and force feed the babies food, force feed them until they cried and vomited, and then take that vomited food and shove it right back in their mouths. I've seen this woman do these horrible things. At the time, I didn't realize what I was getting into, but this woman immediately saw the light, that I had brought in. And because she was raised in a Catholic orphanage, and at the time I didn't realize it, I just knew that she was a very evil person. And I was the only one in the family that saw her evil. And she knew I saw her evil. Subconsciously, she knew I saw her evil. And so from day one, she wanted to get rid of me. And I would stand my ground with her all the time. I mean, she always was looking for battles. She would come back. We used to live behind them. She would come back knocking on my door, wanting to start, she was just a tyrant. She had entity attachment. And she, you want to call it demon? She had a demon attachment. And I had a sister-in-law because my sister-in-law was very weak. She loved my sister-in-law because my sister-in-law just worshiped the ground that this woman walked on, because she had no power of her own. She gave her power away to everybody. She just wanted to be the favorite daughter-in-law of the family, which I could have cared less about, and she knew it. And so there was always this scuffle going on. But this is back in the 80s, you guys, and this is before I didn't start actually do my witch, wake up to the witch in me until the middle 90s. And we had already left and moved away. We were living in Wisconsin, and we moved away. I could not the woman came back and wanted to fight one more time. Didn't want to go there with her. And I just told my husband, we're leaving. We're getting the fuck out of here. I'm leaving with or without you. You can come with me. So we ended up moving to Colorado. And in the meantime, before we had left to go to Colorado, see, this was before I didn't realize how bad and evil she was. I had an idea, but I got pregnant with her son's child. And everybody that got pregnant, my sister-in-law got pregnant, and she had all boys. And so everybody was looking for girls and granddaughters. And my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law were so worried that I was going to have the girl in the family. And they somewhat conspired to try to get rid of my pregnancy. And years later, I heard from my other sister-in-law, the evil woman's daughter, that my sister-in-law, the one that was married into the family that had no power, they would sit around the table and say, I wish her baby would die. I wish her baby would die. And I was working at the restaurant at that time that she was cooking. And she would make me do things, and I was 5-6 months, so I was getting pretty big already. She would make me do things like stand up on countertops, crawl up on countertops, and scrub the walls in the kitchen of the restaurant and the ceilings, unheard of. And then she would make me go in the walk-in cooler and clean the walls in the walk-in freezer. Have you ever tried to clean a wall with water in a freezer? It doesn't work, does it? And so there was something inside of me that was saying, and I was already kind of sick with this pregnancy. Something was inside of me said, get the hell out. So I quit. And so here we are back to Colorado. And this woman just hated me more because I took her son away. And even though he was not her favorite son. And so the years had passed, and my daughter, she was born, matter of fact, she was born when we were still in Wisconsin. And I remember one time when my daughter Whitney was 3, she was either 3 or 4. The evil mother-in-law came back once again to start a fight. And my daughter, at her young age, said, Grandma, you leave my mommy alone. Well, so of course, that started it all. That grandma hated her too, even though she was her son's daughter. So, okay, I hope I'm not boring you guys. Come on, this is going to get really interesting. Okay, so I had no clue at the time. I just knew the woman was evil. And I didn't know the protection I had around me. And so when we moved to Colorado and I started my Wiccan training, you know, I realized I had to find out through all of my, you know, witchcraft work and my journey and everything that I came from a gypsy background. And my dad, because I told you this before, my dad didn't want me to know anything about it because it's not what we think it is. And he says it's just bringing up the horrible past. Okay, so my daughter, when she was young, she had walking pneumonia. She had scarlet fever. And then she had all these other strange illnesses. She'd pass out all the time. And then when she was a little older in college, she found out that she had endometriosis, and for her, it was terrible. It was horrible. It was just horrible for her. And she ended up having to have surgery because she had a 7-pound cyst on one of her ovaries. And when she went into surgery, they went in there and it burst and she almost died. And then after that, she had her first son, and then she ended up with cervical cancer. And then if you see my other video, you know what happened with the cervical cancer. And you know, we're dealing with this cancer stuff. The second round of cancer had come back after the first round. And but in the meantime, the mother-in-law, the evil mother-in-law, finally passed away. And my husband, her son, while she was alive, I saw his heart, though. I saw this man had a huge heart. He had a huge heart, but this woman had control over him. And I believe that he also had an entity attachment because of her. It's like demons run in groups. If one is attached, you know, they bring friends. And so I believe as long as she was living, he would just get so irrational, mood swings. One day he was hot and cold running water. He was easy to trigger. He worked his ass off. He had a great work ethic, but he was a narcissist. He was all of that. But I saw his heart. Okay, so while we were married for these 30 years and she was alive, it was just so hard. And then right after she died, it was like something let go of him. It was like her demons had to go with her, and the demon that he had, or the entity that he had, just didn't have any more power anymore. It just fizzled out. And so he totally changed after she passed away. And so then my daughter is going through this second round of, you know, this cervical cancer battle. And, you know, in my other video with that, we talk about how we healed her cancer. And I was working in my spiral wheel, and I'm working with the A-team, you know, the ascended masters, the angels, the ancestors, the ancient ones. And my dad passed away just before Whitney got her second bout of cancer back. And it was kind of weird because they told him he still had quite a bit of time. And then right after that, 4 days later, he was gone. And so this is the ancestor that was helping. He was helping. He was around us through this battle with cancer. And we didn't realize at the time we were dealing with a curse. We were dealing with dark entities. My mother-in-law and my sister-in-law had cursed us. And curses, people can curse unknowingly. It's like psychic vampires. They can suck off of your energy and they don't even realize they're doing it. So people can curse you. They can send all their negative bullshit to you. And you know, through the years, I kept telling Whitney, you need to put up your mirrors. I feel like there's there's a parasitic attachment that's feeding off of you. And a friend of mine years ago said the same thing when he was having some issues. She says, there's an attachment to her. There's parasitic attachment to her. And we didn't know how extensive this was. We didn't even know, we didn't even think that it was coming from the evil mother-in-law. And so, we're doing all our magic work. We're doing all our, our protection work, and I'm working in the wheel, and I'm telling my daughter, you really need to do your spiritual work, because there's something else. There's something going on here. It's not all physical. We know that disease is not just physical. There's a spiritual and something spiritual going on. But because I'm mom, I have to be very careful how I approach her with all this stuff, because she has there's been this resistance. It's like there's some kind of a block between her and me. So I have to be very careful. And so when I'm working with her, I know that I just can't come out and lay my hands on her, and I can't come out and I have to work with her long distance. And so what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, guide her to the right people that can give her the information that she needs. And now here we are working subconsciously on getting rid of this curse. You want to know how to get rid of a curse? Listen up, guys. Okay. So inside of me, I feel like there's something going on, that knowing, that claircognizance, there's something else going on. And okay, she's resistant to me. So I'm working with my A team. I'm working with her A team, and I'm saying, guide her to the people she needs to talk to, the people that can help her, bring the synchronicities, bring people around her that can protect her and help her. And so in the meantime, she's been wanting to leave her nasty job, and she was really having a lot of problems. It was like everywhere she was going, everything she was doing, this dark entity that was attached to her was triggering all the people around her negatively. And so all this negative shit was coming down at her work. And she did recruiting and hiring for Larimer County in northern Colorado. And the job was getting really, really stressful. And the people, her manager, her director was all of a sudden was just being irrational with her. So she decided she was going to quit. And so we're working on all of this manifesting job, this manifesting work, getting her healing, and she wants to leave her job, but she needs the money because of all her cancer stuff. How many people are in that, how do I leave my job? I have 2 children. I have all these medical bills, blah, blah, blah. And so we're working, and I'm working, send her these people that can help her, and I'm keeping my vibration up, and I'm not getting all pissed off. I'm just staying in my truth, working through the heart. And then all of a sudden, her neighbor goes, you have a lot, you put a lot of money down in your house. I think you got more equity because she did landscaping. Let's see if we can get you some more money. Let's refi. So she goes to refinance her house. Her house payment is $200 a month less, and she got $20,000 in her pocket to pay off her medical bills. And in the meantime, we're working. Remember, we're working, not realizing this is a curse, but we are working to stop this curse. So, and then she talks to her job. And these people are, and I knew she was having trouble at work. So I'm working with these people at work. I'm sending their shit back to them, and I'm telling her, Whitney, you need to put your mirrors up. You need to send her shit. You send her shit back to her. Send it back to her. Stop this. Break this. And so we're working on that. And then all of a sudden, her director is like, I really think you should quit your job. I really think there's something else you need to do. You don't want to spend your whole life here. I'll do everything I can to help you in this transition. If you want to work only 24 hours a week, you can work 24 hours a week and you can keep your insurance while you're getting your other business going. And this is her doula business. She wanted to be a doula. And we're like, holy crap, like this is coming out of left field, a complete 360. And so she's like, wow. I said, jump on it, take it, take it. And so then her HR department knows that she wants to be a doula, and her HR department says, you know, we have 150 births here a year in Larimer County here, you know, where she works. We would like to set this up. We would like to pay our employees what it would cost to go to a doula. And we want you to be the doula that they would go to. And my daughter's just like, what the hell's going on? And so she's like, yes, okay, great. Okay, so my daughter's like, she says, well, I need a business partner. So she's putting it out there, and we're working on that, and she's putting it out there. And she says, I need a business partner. Usually doulas have to have a business partner. And so she's already getting clients. And all of a sudden, there's a person that lives like 3 blocks from her that's looking for a doula business partner. And so it's all falling into place, And in the meantime, my daughter goes to another neighbor who is a medium. And she was a fantastic medium. And she was like, oh my God, she says, I could smell the witch on you. The moment you came to the front door, she says, you're a witch, aren't you? And she's like, yeah. She's like, you know, there's like this family lineage thing. She goes, oh yeah. She says, you have no idea how strong your family is. And she says, but because your family is so strong, she said, there's a lot of shit around you that needs to be cleared out. And so she was telling her, and she was crying the same time because she was seeing all this black yuck inside of her. And so she's helping her. She's like, oh yeah, all your doula stuff. She says, everything is a fall in place. Okay. So, you know, she was just confirming a lot of stuff that we were feeling. And so, I'm working. And one day I felt like I needed to tell Whitney my story of when I was pregnant with her, and how her grandma treated me. And at that time, I think she was really resistant to that. She was like, oh, you know, families, they don't get along. And so in the meantime, she goes for, you have to watch the other video, guys, of how she gets the all clear from her cancer. Her whole town just rallies around her. It's like people are coming out of the woodworks, helping her. People are giving her money. I mean, it's ridiculous. It is just ridiculous, the help that she got, and the synchronicities, and the protection. And so and even the guidance with her oncologist, you know, the strength she had to take on her oncologist and say, no, I don't want your chemo. No, I don't want your radiation. I'm going to do this my way. And so she got her all clear. She went for her last test and it came back clear. She was clear. So she went and said, okay, I'm quitting my job. Hey, great. Okay. I'm starting my doula. She got with this person that needed a doula partner. It's getting good, you guys. Hang in with me. So we have no idea that we are breaking this curse by doing what we're doing, all the work, all the inner work that we're doing, working with our ascended masters, working with the angels, working with the ancient ones. I mean, we're manifesting this, and in the meantime, the curse is starting to lose its hold, and it's already lost its hold because she got the all clear. And I realized after my dad was around us, and I had the 3 dreams, and the last dream I had, because I was working and taking her disease in. I was taking her disease in, taking it in and giving it to Gaia. And then I had the dream that I was pulling this thing out of my mouth, and it was, when it came out, we realized it was a big tumor, but it had a parasite. There were parasites in the tumor. And when I gave that to Gaia, my dad appeared in my dream, and he gave me this big hug, and it was like a goodbye hug. And I haven't seen him since. It's been a couple months, but I realized that he realized that we had won this spiritual battle. We had beat these dark attachments, these demonic attachments, this curse. He didn't say it, but I could tell it was goodbye. And so, you know, she went and had her test, and it was all clear because I had helped her take this parasite. It was, you know, like I said, in that other video, I have the video posted below in the description. It takes a village to clear a curse, people. It's very hard to do it on your own, but it also takes a lot of inner work, a lot of strength, and a lot of raising your vibration. And that's what we always work with, is raising our vibration, so we no longer are a frequency match to the low vibe of disease and illness and attachment. And so she meets up, and this is the interesting part. She meets up with this woman that's going to be her doula partner, and they just click. They just click, and like 2 hours go by. And so they decide that they're going to exchange energy to work with each other. They're going to work on each other. And so this week she goes over there, and her partner's working on her, and she's doing cranial sacral, and she's doing emotion code. And she's going, there's something here that's like a family curse or a family attachment or something. And she goes, it has something to do with your father's mother. And my daughter goes, oh, my mom told me. She says, because your second chakra, because we know, you know, if you have female issues, it has to do with the second chakra. And she goes, this started before you were born. And we know that the fetus, the child can be affected the third trimester of, you know, pregnancy. And I said, and she goes, this started when you were in your mother's womb. And so she started telling her what I told her about how she treated me when I was pregnant with her. And, but then later on, I remembered how the evil mother-in-law and the lowly, no power sister-in-law would sit and conspire and say, I wish her baby would die. So I haven't told that to my daughter yet, and I'm going to talk to her about it today. But she goes, yes, she says, but it's clearing. She says, we can finish this clearing. We can finish clearing this dark, she says, it's like this demon, dark energy that's attached to this. And this is where all this started with you. This is where all your issues started. And, so she said, we can clear out the rest of this. And so she was confirming. She'd had no clue about our family. This was like their first time, the second time they got together. They just decided to work energetically on each other. And because I had been saying, please help her find the people she needs to help her. Please help her find these people. These people were like falling in her path. And so all these people were like, they had the missing link of what was going on with our family and what was going on with her. It was everybody that was coming now. You know, the synchronicities were just coming, and they were all, you know, the piece of the puzzle. I got this piece of the puzzle. So, you have to be careful. These people that give curses, and a lot of times they don't realize they're giving curses. My going back to my evil mother-in-law and my no power sister-in-law, she had her first son, and that first son of hers ended up being my mother-in-law's favorite son. I mean, favorite grandson. And his name was Frankie. And Frankie went everywhere with Grandma. Grandma babysat Frankie. Grandma did everything for Frankie. It was Frankie, 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 and Frankie. And so through the years, well, we left when Frankie was 5. I think we moved to Colorado when Frankie was 5. And as Frankie grew up, and it was still the battle between the families. It just never ceased. The evil woman was always causing issues with my family. There's karma here, guys. Okay, this is where I'm going. This is why you don't want to curse somebody. One day we get the phone call. Frankie was 18. He had just graduated from school, and he got killed by a drunken driver. And so this was the evil mother-in-law's favorite grandson, and this was the no power woman's firstborn son. And so you want to talk about protection. This is karma. She lost her favorite grandson. She lost her first son. And so years later, the no power sister-in-law contacted my daughter Whitney and said, I owe your mother a really huge apology. And we did talk, but all of a sudden now, when my daughter's doula partner said, this is where all this is coming from, it was like this huge aha moment, because I've been racking my brain to figure out what happened to Whitney. I have 2 other daughters that, this isn't happening. They're daughters from my first husband. So they're separate from this situation. But why is Whitney having all of these issues her whole life? Her whole life, it's been one medical issue after another. And it was just like it just was like the light went on. And so yes, you guys, there's curses. They are curses. And a lot of times people don't realize they are cursing you. And it's very hard when you don't realize that you're being cursed, how to stop that curse. But because we've been so protected through the years, I mean, I was in 4 car accidents in high school. I was not a driver. And then out of high school, I was in another car accident. I was the driver. And some of these car accidents were so bad. I mean, I should have been dead. But there's all this protection going on, you guys. And so it is this battle, the dark against the light. And we have to remember that because there's this balance, everybody gets equal billing, we say. But the dark, the last many thousands and thousands and thousands of years, the dark have been playing dirty. And so they've had the upper hand. They've had more dark. They've been using more dark. And so there's been this imbalance where the dark has overshadowed the light. Now we're coming into this where the light is starting to expose the darkness. Dark is just dark because there's no light. And so the light is coming in and exposing this darkness. We're seeing it everywhere. We're seeing it in our politics, aren't we, guys? If you are awake enough and you can see through if you can discern the truth. And so we are now having more protection. We are able to manifest better and faster and stronger. Our power is stronger, and we're starting to feel this power. And so That's my story about the family curse and how we unknowingly killed this family curse. And then, so there are ways, yes, there are ways, and it's all about doing your inner work, guys. It's all about taking care of you. It's all about guarding your vibration, guarding it with your life, because your vibration dictates what comes to you, how you live your life, how healthy you are. And if there's a dark attachment feeding off of you and lowering your vibration, you are going to experience these dark illnesses and these strange anomalies and bad luck. And my daughter, you know, her two sisters, it was like the Cinderella syndrome. My two daughters from my first marriage hated Whitney because their father was not in their life. He didn't want anything to do with them. But Whitney's father was there, and so they were very jealous. And they hated her, and they treated her like crap. I mean, and because they were 5 and 7 years older than her, so they were always, you know, sending negativity towards her. And so Whitney, you know, she had to deal with a lot of negativity. She went to school, she was bullied. And, you know, so she was always a basket case. So it was very hard for her to keep her vibration up. Not to mention that she had the evil, dark attachment from the evil grandma. So it was really tough for her. But she's come out on the other side of it. So you can come out on the other side of it. And it's all about sticking with it, guys, not giving up. You know, she didn't give in, and even though it got bad, she didn't turn to drugs. She didn't turn to alcoholism. She didn't turn to sex. She really subconsciously was doing what she needed to do, but because of the dark had that upper hand. You know, it just seemed like everything we're doing was, you know, not working. It was counterintuitive. But now we're into this age where the light is gaining. The light has the power. We're coming into that balance now. And so we're able now to fight these curses. We're able to fight these demon attachments. We're able to fight the low vibration and rise our vibration. We're able to fight the negativity that comes to us. And so you guys, it can be done. It can be done. It's all about finding ways of keeping your vibration up, living in the light, living in the heart. Everything I talk about is living in and through the heart. The heart is where you raise your vibration. I don't care if you can do all the spells in the world, but if there's not heart in your spells, there's not heart in your magic, you're going to get a no. Or you might get a yes for a while, but then it'll come back. And so, but the tides are changing right now. And so, that is my interesting curse, my family curse story that I wanted to tell you guys about. And you know, there's a lot of spiritual warfare going on, and we are beginning to prevail. I am hearing about a lot of people who are not, you know, coming out on the bright side of it because they're, you know, it takes a village. You know, you can't do this on your own. And once the synchronicities start falling into place, there's nowhere for the dark to go anymore. There's just too much light, you guys. There's too much heart. There's too much high vibration. So, you know, if you're feeling low vibe or whatever, get out there, get in nature, baby. Ground. Listen to the rest of my videos. I talk about all of this stuff in my videos. It's all about raising our vibration into the ascension, the great shift, the new earth, the new Gaia. So, all right, you guys, talk to you soon. Blessed be.